The encounter involved US Navy pilots, including Commander David Fravor, who reported observing unidentified aerial objects displaying advanced and seemingly impossible flight characteristics. The objects, described as tic-tac shaped, demonstrated rapid acceleration and sudden changes in direction.
Well, if there's look at that thing. It's rotating.
So most of the temples that you see are Ganas. Why they're putting up Ganas is because Ganas have played an important role in the shaping of human consciousness. Because Shiva himself is a Gana. Because he's a Gana, Ganas hung around him, he's his people. He put on a form, a human form, to be effective with human beings.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. Our scriptures and even our temple sculptures depict many kinds of beings like Ganas and Yakshas. Are these the same beings that are visiting Manasarovar?
The only two cultures which have documented this to some extent are the Indian culture has documented it hugely. And the Greek culture has done it to some extent. About the nature, when we say beings from another realm, these are only two cultures which are describing definite forms. So here we have Yakshas, Gandharvas, Ganas, Kinnaras, Apsaras, Kritikas, and there's so many like this. I think we have well-recognized beings from other realms, at least over 11, 12 varieties of them. The Greeks also have similar numbers of probably, if not similar, maybe a little less, but they also have recognized. I think the only place, I've never entered this place, but people tell me that the best library of this kind is in Adiyogi, in Chennai. The Theosophical Library is supposed to have immense collection of occult books which deal with all these aspects. More than the spiritual process, it's the occult which explores these aspects because they're always looking how to use some kind of entity which has the necessary power, intelligence and access to do things for them. They're always looking how to enslave something, to use it for their own benefit. So the occult explores these things much more than the spiritual process. But in the spiritual process, I think Gautama himself talks a lot about these things. Gautama the Buddha, Buddha himself talks about a lot of different types of beings that he faced in his sadhana, which invariably one is bound to face when they move into certain aspects. Particularly when we were in another place, lots of things have happened, but particularly when we were moving towards the consecration of Dhyanalinga, these kind of things like were every day happening, all kinds. I'm not good at categorizing and naming them and saying this is this, this is that, but they're distinctly different, that's for sure, no question. Very distinctly different in their energy, in their appearance, in their everything. It was all there but didn't pay attention. But elsewhere, I have paid attention to some of these things, but it is wasteful in many ways because none of them, at least whatever I have come across, none of them would be of any spiritual significance to me. So, if I paid little attention to them, the moment I realized that's not it, I took my attention off those things because they were never of any spiritual consequence. They were only existential consequence. If you want to explore the existence, yes. But if you want to know this, they're of no use because they're just in a different form, as ignorant as you are. Maybe with different kind of capabilities which would look incredible to you, but I'm sure your capabilities look incredible to them. Otherwise they won't be visiting, isn't it? As they look incredible to you, you must be looking incredible to them, that's why they're visiting. These days I don't have this luxury. At that time, there was no wall around the house and the morning, always by like 5:45, 6, when the sun is rising, I always came and sat in the outside corridor. And temple was still not there. I'm just building the temple in my mind. Every day I sit there and gazing in the direction where it should come up. I'm just… because I don't have the money, I don't have the material, I just don't know only what's in my mind. At that time, these creatures just hung around for quite some time. They're like irregular shapes, but all just like two-dimensional, like cardboards, walking around, moving around and making noises and just hanging around right there all the time. Sometimes I could not ignore them because they were so noisy. And it so happened sometimes that, other people in the house heard the voices and noises that I was talking to somebody. And they would come out and see that I was not talking to anybody. They cannot hear what, but they hear something. I never spoke, but they were making so many noises. You need to understand, noise means the kind of noise that we make, only we can make. When I say the kind of noise, well, the birds can make a different kind of noise, but both of us are making the same noise in terms of frequency, reasonably there. That's why we can hear each other. There are other creatures here who are making other kinds of noises, which you cannot hear. So usually these beings are making other kinds of noises. You cannot hear, but these were making noises that… like our kind of noises, that is somewhere in the frequency range that we communicate in. Either they were specially making these noises for me, or they also belong to the same category of noise making as we. I didn't explore all this because my time was running out, my sands were slipping, so I was putting up the bricks. I sat there and putting up the bricks because my foundation was slipping away so rapidly. So, if their sound making is of the same frequency as ours, it is also possible that their thought making could be reasonably about the same frequency as ours. Their body could be reasonably of the same kind of material, maybe not exactly, but same kind. Otherwise your eyes wouldn't so easily capture it. Well, you could see it if you're in a certain way, other things also, but not that simply like anything else that we see on a day-to-day basis. So, are these yakshas, gandharvas, ganas? I don't think so, because they don't fit into any of the descriptions that the traditions talk about. They describe gandharvas as the most beautiful human forms, yakshas as slightly of a different kind but still reasonably human form. Gana is totally distorted. Distorted means unlike human forms. So most of the temples that you see are Ganas. Why they're putting up Ganas is because Ganas have played an important role in the shaping of human consciousness. Because Shiva himself is a Gana. And because he's a Gana, Ganas hung around him, he's his people. But he put on a form. He put on a form, a human form, to be effective with human beings. But his friends remained in the same old forms. His form was powerful enough, impactful enough, they could manage their work without changing all of them. So Gana forms are all over the place. Being human beings, we try to make it little like ourselves, slightly distorted, because we cannot imagine something which is totally unlike human. See, right now in front of the Bhairavi temple, two Ganas are sitting like this. Maybe they didn't look like that. But our human minds are such, a being means he must at least have a head. And then we can't, he just looks like a ball. We need two hands to make him look like a being. In our mindset, if somebody has to look like a being, he must have hands, legs, everything, you know. Maybe they didn't have any of those things. Maybe what I saw was the real Ganas, that they didn't have any form like what we think of. But over a period of time, artists… How can an artist write this and say, it's a being? If I show you an irregular shape of a paper and say this is a being, you won't buy it, isn't it? At least I must cut it reasonably human sense, this is a being, little like that. You are clearly cut like this, we'll make you like this and say this is a being, you say, oh, okay. At least a head and a body and some limbs, something needed, isn't it? For human mind to perceive. So over a period of time, artists might have went on transforming the forms. To the point where we made a Ganapati into a Gajapati. We made a Gana into an elephant, which is a serious big change, isn't it? Not a small change, very big change. Ganapati means the chief of the Ganas, that's what it means. So it is not just he went and slaughtered somebody's head and put it. He told the Gana, okay, I'll take your head and put it in the human body, at least you're halfway effective. Now I've made myself into complete human form. If I put a human body for you, only the head we are not able to create. You will be quite effective and he's effective, isn't it? We accepted him because he has a human body and a Gana's head. If he sat whole Gana, we kept him outside, we didn't worship him. We kept the Ganas outside the temple, but we took Ganapati into the temple. Why? Because he looks like us. So he might have thought through all these things and done it. Maybe at least he needed one assistant who looked reasonably human. Isn't it so? Maybe they just came just like how we saw them in the Manasura wars, just like that in bunches. In simply a certain kind. They knew in that form they cannot operate. So maybe they used the local earth to create themselves and they couldn't shape themselves properly. It went like this, like that. Even among human beings, everybody didn't come with the same shape, isn't it? So like that, they went in many shapes and they thought it's okay. As long as one man is looking acceptable, they thought it's okay. Maybe to go to a conference, he needed one more guy. So he took off his head and put it on a human body to fulfill some immediate purpose, I'm saying.
Unidentified flying objects, UFOs, have been a source of fascination and speculation for decades, captivating the imaginations of people around the world. While the vast majority of UFO sightings can be attributed to natural phenomena, man-made objects, or misidentifications, there are certain incidents that stand out due to their intriguing details, multiple witnesses, and the enduring mystery surrounding them. This introduction will provide an overview of 5 notable UFO sightings that have left an indelible mark on the realm of ufology and popular culture. Roswell Incident, 1947. The Roswell Incident is a cornerstone in UFO lore, contributing the public's imagination and fueling conspiracy theories for decades. In July 1947, a rancher named Mac Brazel discovered debris on his property near Roswell, New Mexico. The US military initially issued a press release stating that a flying disc had been recovered, but the next day they retracted the statement, claiming it was a weather balloon. This abrupt change in explanation has led to widespread speculation and conspiracy theories, with some suggesting that an extraterrestrial craft crashed and the government engaged in a cover-up. Over the years, numerous witnesses, including military personnel, have come forward with various accounts contributing to the enduring mystery of the Roswell incident. Betty and Barney Hill abduction, 1961. The Betty and Barney Hill abduction is one of the earliest and most well-known cases of alleged alien abduction. In September 1961, the Hills reported a harrowing experience of being taken abroad a UFO by non-human entities through hypnosis. The couple recalled details of medical examinations and communication with the beings. Their story gained attention and it remains a landmark case in the study of UFO abductions, while skeptics argue that their experiences could be attributed to psychological phenomena. The Hill case has had a lasting impact on popular culture and discussions surrounding extraterrestrial encounters. Phoenix Lights, 1997. The Phoenix Lights incident is one of the most widely witnessed and documented UFO sightings in recent history. On the evening of March 13, 1997, thousands of people in Phoenix, Arizona reported seeing a formation of lights moving across the night sky. The lights were described as a V-shaped pattern and were visible for an extended period. Witnesses included civilians and law enforcement officers who initially dismissed the event but later admitted to seeing the lights. The official explanation provided by the US Air Force claimed the lights were flares dropped during a military exercise, but this explanation had been met with skepticism, and the Phoenix Lights remain a topic of debate among UFO enthusiasts. USS Nimitz UFO Incident, 2004. The USS Nimitz UFO incident, often referred to as the Tic Tac incident, occurred in November 2004 off the coast of San Diego. The encounter involved US Navy pilots, including Commander David Fravor, who reported observing unidentified aerial objects displaying advanced and seemingly impossible flight characteristics. The objects, described as tic-tac shaped, demonstrated rapid acceleration and sudden changes in direction.
Well, if there's a thing, it's rotating.
Declassified video footage captured by military pilots has added credibility to the accounts. The incident has sparked renewed interest in UFOs and has contributed to the ongoing discussion about the nature and origin of unidentified aerial phenomena. Belgium UFO Wave, 1989 to 1990. The Belgium UFO wave is a series of sightings that occurred from late 1989 to 1990, primarily in the southern part of Belgium. Multiple witnesses, including police officers and military personnel, reported sightings of triangular-shaped objects in the night sky. The objects were equipped with bright lights and displayed silent and unconventional flight patterns. Photographs and radar images were taken during the wave, leading to heightened public interest. The Belgian Air Force initiated an investigation known as Operation Begin, but despite extensive efforts, they could not provide a definitive explanation for the sightings. The Belgium UFO wave remains one of the most well-documented and unexplained UFO events in European history. In conclusion, these 5 UFO sightings represent a small fraction of the countless reports of unidentified aerial phenomena that have been documented over the years. While the vast majority of sightings can be attributed to natural phenomena, misidentification, or classified military activities, cases like these continue to capture public fascination and contribute to ongoing debates about the existence of extraterrestrial life and the nature of unidentified flying objects. Scientific investigation and skepticism remain crucial in evaluating these incidents as researchers strive to separate fact from fiction in the realm of UFO phenomena.